I used to have several sites. Now I kind of like the grower's edge. It gives me that cash max. You can tell it which markets you're looking for, and it will tell you what your highest net back is based on the price they're paying at that time and the basis that they're paying. And that's pretty handy because I don't have to go to so many different sites.
Good afternoon, welcome to GrainTV. My name is Cody. Today is the 6th. It's a Friday, which means we're going to talk a little bit about the basis environment and how it's changed throughout the week. But before we get into that, let's talk a little bit about the daily changes. Let's turn over to the Grain Hedge trading platform and see where we closed off the day. Corn trading down 5 cents. Wheat in Chicago up 1 3/4 cents on the day, and soybeans trading down 1/4 penny. One thing about soybeans is that it was really trading down a significant part of the day, able to close out near the highs. That's very positive here for soybeans. Corn unable to really have that comeback. One thing that really pressured the grains here during the day was the U.S. dollar. It was rallying very sharply here. We have the euro continuing to sell off, really in the wake of the European Central Bank announcing their massive bond buying program and really describing and laying out the details of that. Now, we continue to see wheat in particular, as well as the other grains, but wheat in particular just seems to be very susceptible to this. Of course, the European Union has been supplying most of the world with wheat. The euro has been declining. That's been making European wheat very competitive on the global market. U.S. wheat is not so competitive right now. And really, this rally in the dollar is going to continue to put pressure on grains. Let's talk a little bit about the WASDE report next week. It's coming out on the 10th here. It'll be released at 11 o'clock Central Standard Time. Keep in mind, these are the expectations of the Reuters analyst poll here. This is the average guess. They're expecting corn ending stocks to stay mostly unchanged here, moving to 1.826 compared to 1.827 billion bushels here. So only down a very small amount, certainly not very significant. Soybeans, on the other hand, analysts are expecting on average ending stocks to come in around 376 million bushels compared to last month, which was at 385. I'm assuming here that the expected revision is on the back that export sales are running well ahead of pace. We're about 97.7% booked. Only about 1 million metric tons left to go to meet USDA expectations. I wouldn't be surprised if in that report we saw export sales increased on Tuesday. And wheat in Chicago here looks as though ending stocks, average analyst guess, expecting somewhere around 699 million bushels, up from 692. So that wouldn't be a very positive support or report here for wheat. Let's talk a little bit about the cash market. One thing we'll talk about is soybeans. Very interesting here because we saw Gulf for the soybeans down 16 cents on the week. We saw the prices shed about 40 cents on the week, and you would suspect that when you have prices decline by that much that you'd get a bump up in basis. We just didn't see that. Basis on average across the U.S. was unchanged. We saw basis decline along the river markets. A lot of this has to do with the fact that exports have fallen here below 1 million metric tons. That is something that we haven't seen since October. What that's showing us is that really that soybean movement out of the country is starting to wrap up here. The commitments that we have left starting to get smaller here, and of course what we're seeing is really a shift to corn, to move corn out of the country. And take a look at corn basis throughout the U.S. On average, it was up 4 cents. We did see along the river an increase of 6 cents. A lot of this has to do with the fact that in the eastern part of the U.S., these wintry conditions has really slowed the movement of grain, and what we've needed to do is see an increase in basis to draw that grain out of the bins. They want grain, particularly corn, delivered today. That's why we saw the 6 cent increase here in basis. Ethanol was on par with the U.S. with an increase in 4 cents. If you guys have any questions about what we talked about today, give us a call. The number is 877-472-4607. I look forward to hearing from you. We'll see you here on Monday.